Listen to the Vibes, hosted by Coyote Knight. Listen in for some positivity and good times. The views and opinions of our guests may not necessarily reflect those of the host or the Vibes broadcast network. Listener discretion is advised.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith.
Yeah, that's us.
Please come in.
Seen this man? How did you folks come to eating flesh?
Do you like them?
The next town is 32 miles that way. We don't get too many visitors out here unless they're lost.
They were lost.
And now they're found. You little bastard!
Oh my gosh, this is so good.
I want this done immediately. She cannot stay at Lennon. Look at my face. I'm aging again.
So if I took it now, I'd stay like this.
I can prep him if you like.
No, that won't be necessary. Yeah, prep me.
Turn here.
Got quite the setup here.
Do you have reservations?
Welcome everyone to Listen to the Vibes. I have here Mr. Anton Clark, who is a actor in a movie out, I believe it hit #1 on Amazon called The Crumbs. Hello, sir.
Hello.
All right. So this is all about you. We want to get to know you a little bit better so people can kind of know the guy they're seeing on screen. And I enjoyed your performance, by the way. I really liked the movie. And so where are you from? And tell us about Anton.
So I am originally from California, Bakersfield. I moved up to Sacramento after I was released from California Youth Authority. I came out here to change my life, to better myself. It still was a rough patch, but I ended up finding, acting through a mutual friend and from my cousin Johnny Moore that I was able to locate out here at the time. It just happened to happen like that. After I was released, I found this class because dude gave me a number. I went to the class. A seminar was the class, a seminar that someday he was trying to do to bring actors together. And I met my cousin there, and he ended up pointing me towards Dave Espinoza. Dave Espinoza pointed me to, started directing me, then pointed me to Adam and Laura Webb, to where I started building my acting career. At the end of the day, I started building it, and then I ended up winning an award for a short that I done. But yeah, I had a long road. It's been very difficult, I could say. At the end of the day, I didn't lost my wife 2 months ago, October.
So sorry.
The same month. It's the same month I lost my mother 10 years ago. So, I'm having to deal with everything at once. But I use that to strengthen me because I'm doing things that they would want me to do. And at the end of the day, and I keep moving forward. And I know she'll be happy right now, seeing that this movie made it to #1 because we put in a lot of work on this movie before it even started with going over the lines. She'll play, she'll read the lines for me, and she was hammering things into me because my wife was very multi-talented. She never touched the stage, but she did things, she was a community activist, and so she was able to help me because she done talent shows and all that to help me mold my character, which you see on set, where I was able to use also David's teachings and her teaching and bring out this, basically be natural and bring out Lenore as y'all see.
Okay. Yeah. One thing about my show is I bring people on so, they can tell their story. And then when you talk about, going through what you've been through and able to overcome that and then make a success of yourself, I feel like that gives people hope. Because, I was one of those kids. I got into trouble, got into drugs, alcohol, all that kind of stuff. And it was a long path for me as well to turn my life around, and to see somebody else that can relate to that and then say, hey, look what I'm doing now. I'm not that same person. That's an inspiration.
Yeah. And people, and if your fans look at this and they're going through the same thing and they wonder why things aren't turning around, at the end of the day, I'm gonna tell them. I want to tell them this: it's like you got to keep striving. At the end of the day, nothing gets easier because there's always something there to try to drag you back. At the end of the day, it's like soon as my wife passed, there was always something. There was something right there tearing at me. People at my I like to call it being surrounded by wolves, people testing you, waiting for you to slip up, to send you back, to get locked up. It's never easy. It's always there. It's always a tipping scale. But you have to stand firm, stand on your all 10 and just continue to be a man at the end of the day, and don't slip back into that, because life will throw many things at you at the end of the day. And you cannot allow yourself to slip back. So I had to stand strong and keep going forward, because I got this little one in here. If I fall, where he's going to be at, where he's going to go. At the end of his grandma is gone. My wife, his grandma is gone at the end of the day. So these are the things that we have to think about. And then if you don't have nothing to lean on at the end of the day, you just got yourself. You have to want better for yourself.
Yeah.
You have to be tired, because I was tired of that lifestyle. I'm tired of seeing dead friends. I'm tired of seeing kids go through the same cycle I went through, or even worse, with them being homeless out here, getting caught up on them drugs, and seeing them. And I want to create an environment one day in the future where they have a better chance to escape in the future, at the end of the day. So you have to give yourself a vision, a plan, and keep pushing until you achieve it, even when it doesn't seem reachable.
Yeah. Well, I had lost my little brother. He killed himself back in 2000, and he was only 22 years old. And here I had just gotten off of drugs and alcohol, and I unfortunately slipped right back into it. That was the way I didn't deal with the pain. I wanted to escape from it and mask it, and never really took the time to really get through that grieving process.
Yeah.
And then my first wife left me, and all this stuff. And when I ended up really, which surprised me, but I got custody of my children, and that ended up being the inspiration for me to change. It's sad that it had to come to that to get me to change, but if you've got a goal in mind, you've got something else you can focus on, and not really think about yourself, that's a big help. So
Yeah.
you said your wife had helped you, and then you lost your wife. I mean, that had to be really rough.
Oh, it's rough, because we fought for a year and 8 months. I mean, she was already sick when I met her from diabetes and everything, but we had 8 wonderful years together at the end of the day. And it started getting rough because she was already going out in and out the hospital from strokes and stuff like that, but they didn't know where the strokes was coming from. She ended up having this rare brain disease at the end of the day, and it just happened to be like that. And so when they finally found out, now we had to jump through all the hurdles and stuff like that to get her situated and things like that, and it's like, by the time we a week out from surgery, and she ended up going to the hospital. And it's like, I was irritated, because like, we're a week out, and then now she's back in the hospital. And she sounds good in the hospital. She was good at home, You know, she was good at home, but then I started seeing signs like, okay, you know, you need to go back home to the hospital. You haven't been drinking water like I've been told. You telling you to drink water, and I think you're dehydrated. Well, she was. So because I'll be at workout, but she likes to drink some sodas, like to drink some Coca-Colas and some Diet Cokes, and I'm like, Lisa, you have to drink water, and she didn't listen, you know, and so put her back in the hospital. Found out she had 2 strokes, and then everything just went downhill, you know, and I'm still keeping faith that she's gonna make it off the bed, and you know they're telling her. It was hard seeing her because she was worse than before, than the last year before. Because she survived last year. She almost died last year. And so seeing her back in the state, but worse, you know, I'm just praying. I'm just praying again, just calling God again, please. And, you know, I started talking to her, you know, and getting her to come back to me. And she started to form words. She stopped screaming because when they start screaming, that's when you know they're near the end.
Yeah.
And so, you know, I got her to come back. And then I played music, and then she started to form words. So she came back. The doctors didn't expect that at the end of the day. And then she just started talking her shit like she usually do, was had me dying. But, you know, they put her on, they wanted to place her on hospital. I didn't understand what hospital was at the time. But they just talked about giving me extra help and nurses in there. I'm like, yeah, and I'm definitely down for that, you know, because I want her to get her surgery. So hospital was a last resort to basically comfort people in. And when I realized that, I called back like, what are y'all talking about? I didn't expect her to get no better,
Yeah.
you know. But I told her like I'm gonna quit acting, and she told me no, you bet not. And, you know, she said I'm gonna make it one way or another off this bed, but you better not give that up. I'm like, we had talked about this because I got something coming up in February. She said, no, you don't give this up. You do not give up your acting. And so when she finally came home, I'm taking care of her. And I doing the same thing I've been doing. It's more rough this time around. You feel it in the air, you know, like something that you just feel. And so you know, I've been telling her kids to come and, you know, check on her. And, you know, that might be the only way she'll bounce back. But we just started having them conversations. And she said, honey, I just want to thank you for everything that you've done for me. And you've done for my grandson. Even though he's not yours, you know, you take care of him, you take care of me. And we just had them deep talks. He said, I want you to go far. You're going to be a great actor. You know, and, you know, I just said, I love you. I said, we're gonna go, we're gonna travel, we're gonna do things, you know, but she just said, I don't think I'm gonna get past this one. And I said, don't say that. Don't say that. And we just started talking more, sharing laughs, and then she went to sleep. One of her daughters came over and started tending to her. We were trying to get her to eat and stuff like that. I put her bed in, because the dude that was supposed to do the bed didn't put it in, so I had to put the bed in. You know, I've been learning all these little things from the hospital and stuff like that. So I put the bed in, and she went into a deep sleep after that. And the nurses came and checked. They like, you know, because they've been coming and check, but it's like, you know, you kind of face the facts that she's not gonna make it this time. And so I'm still like, you know, I'm like, nah, fuck what you talking about. Excuse my language, but God got the last say so.
Right.
But deep in my heart, I just didn't want to accept it. And, and she was in a lot of pain, so I didn't want her in that pain. So, I'm like, God, if you're going to take her, let her go in her sleep. And so I just crawled into bed with her and I held her until she went. I woke up with her. She was gone. And she didn't go alone. So, that's that. She was a strong woman. And she taught me a lot to life. I mean, we had our ups and downs. We had some major downs, but we had some majors up too. And I'm just going to keep pushing for this because she helped me so much at the end of the day. And I'm not giving up my acting, and I'm not giving up my step grandson. We're going to keep doing this thing until I see her in the next life. But right now, I got to keep going in this life.
Yeah.
And it's hard and it's difficult. The days I wake up, I don't want to wake up, but I got to. We got to keep going forward. We have to keep living even when we don't want to live. And I have to be there, and I have to learn how to want to live again, and which is take these walks in the morning. I take a look around, even though it's in the hood, and get the beautiful sights. And I got my grand, and I got my grand. Even if I didn't have them, I got her last words to keep living. So, like I said, things are difficult, but you got to make strides every day.
This life just seems to throw stuff at you, and it's almost like it's nonstop, but yet we find a way to keep fighting and look for that silver lining, even when we really don't want to.
Yeah.
But I mean, you've got an inner strength. You definitely have, a beauty about yourself. You've got a heart. You take care of your step grandson, which you could have walked away from that, but you didn't. You stepped up to the plate, man, and I admire you for that. Really do.
Yeah, man. This life is ruthless, but it can be amazing. It can make wonderful stories at the end of it. So I know my story not done, and her story not done at the end of the day. So we just gotta keep going.
Yeah, I mean, she's living through you right now,
Yeah.
And you not giving up, that just makes something more of her legacy. Yeah.
Yes.
So, do you have any other projects coming up?
Right now, I believe I do. I gotta wait to hear back after all this stuff in with Corona and stuff like that. So, everything kind of on the fence right now. I've been trying to find other things right now that people are doing, but some people just want to wait till after Corona ends and stuff like that. But there are things in the making. We just have to wait to hear back.
You should get into those horror cons. I know they're doing the video chats and stuff with the fans, and doing the autographs and all that. You should check into it.
Oh, definitely. I don't even know what that is, but I'll look it up.
Yeah, they have horror conventions. I know they have one that comes up to Dallas, and I can't remember. I think it's in October, but they have them all over the country. And being that you're in that genre, and plus you got Maria Olsen, who is basically a legend when it comes to the horror flicks. If y'all get together, y'all could do something special.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I haven't. I definitely got to check it out because I didn't even know nothing about no horror con. I didn't even know those existed. You just told me now.
Yeah, well, I'm jonesing for a Comic-Con myself, and you know, I've been on the virtual ones where you get to sit and watch people ask questions, and the people from comic book movies or whatever, they come on and answer their question. But yeah, hey, they're still getting paid.
Oh, okay.
So are you going to kind of stick to that kind of genre of movie, or are you looking to expand into something else?
Oh, most likely expand to something else. I mean, I will always come back to horror because this will be my foundation, but I'm looking to expand into action and other areas too.
You should get together with John Asuna and do a John Wick movie or something.
Right.
Well, I tell you, you got the build. You could be in, you know, tough guy in one of those movies.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. What I just played a bodyguard for a movie where it looked good in the picture. It looked good in the picture. So, and it came off a good on set too. And you know, just being around that, like, yeah, I know that action is what I want to try out next. I just have to get there.
Oh, I hear you'll get there. If just talking to you the last few minutes, I can tell you're going to get there.
Thank you.
So, you know, besides your acting, what else do you like to do?
Well, right now, working out, things like that, trying to get my health under control. Uh, you know, I do. Sometimes I kind of stop. I love doing motivational speaking to others, speaking to children, things like that. I draw sometime every now and then. I write now and then. But mostly I'm just a in-house person unless my brother or somebody take me out and then we go hit the bar or something like that. Other than that.
Well, you know, I told you I had one of your other stars on the show, Chelsea Yurkovich, and she actually sang for me, and I mentioned that to you in the message, and you said, well, you didn't sing, so I won't ask you.
Yeah, I haven't rapped in a long time, or I spit your rap, but I haven't rapped in a long time. So
Shoot, I can't even wrap Christmas presents, so. But yeah, you know, do you like put your artwork out there, or you know, you just do it for fun?
I just do it for fun. I'm not that good. Just do it.
Now,
I
see,
got
you know, artists tell me that all the time. Oh, I'm not that good, and then I see their work, and I'm like, dang, I wished I was half that good.
I'm really not that good. I'm definitely really not that good.
Well, as long as you enjoy it.
Yeah, I enjoy it. I used to be better in high school where I could actually draw things. Now I'm back to drawing like these 3-bit characters. So, and they don't even look all good. So it's just so I gave it up. As if you don't use it, you lose it.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, you definitely gotta keep up with it, because I'm nowhere near as good as I was back in high school. Because you know, life happens, you get into other stuff, and I have to be inspired. And even then, for some reason, I get bored with it real easy and go do something else.
Exactly.
But you know, hey, you do what you do.
Yeah, and but that's the funny thing about being an actor too, is that you have to revisit and go learn new things all again. Because you may get a scene where you actually got to draw something or pretend that you draw something just to get the fluid motion down. Or you got to play a cashier. Well, I had a cashier job, so that gonna look legit, you know. Or so some certain things, just like if you've been around it long enough, you're like, okay, you can play it off on set. But certain things you got to go learn at the end of the day, you know. And so I like to experience life so it'll come off natural across the screen and stuff like that.
So where did you draw your inspiration for your character in The Crumbs?
So I was thinking too hard on it, and my wife and my coach said, "Your life, your life story." At the end of the day, he said, "You was always this tough guy, but then you this big soft teddy bear on the inside that looking for love." And so my wife said the same thing, and she was the first one to say it all the time. Actually, she said, she's like, "You a gangster, but then when I get to talking to you, you this big soft teddy bear." And so we use my basically who I am to draw forth Lenore, where you see that because my wife seen me snap in the store once, and it was at the cashier because he was doing too much trying to short me, and so me and him got into a fist fight, and I fucked him up real bad, and so she's like, "I never seen that side of you. You turned into something else." I'm like, and so, and she's, and so, but then she said something where I'm very soft, where I'm very loving and caring and stuff like that, to where I lift her up and take her out the bathtub and not be there for her. She said, "You're like, what that book like Heckle and
Jekyll, oh, Jekyll and Hyde. I'm sorry.
yeah.
I know what you're trying to say. Well, I mean, I guess if people don't know you, you can come off as kind of intimidating. So,
Ellie, that's the first thing everybody say. Oh, so with the big dude. Oh man, I wouldn't want to fight you. Oh my god.
yeah, I'd rather keep you on my good side if that's all right.
Oh, yeah. but yeah. So it came from me and just my personal privilege. I use triggers, the happiest moments of my life, the saddest moments of my life, and where I was angry in my life. I use moments like those at the end of the day to get my character to where I need to be at the end of the day. And so when you see Lenore, he just straight, even with the first scene where I'm sprinting up the stairs, have you ever had a fight or flight moment or you really had to protect somebody? I know I have, and it turns serious. The situation where I had to protect somebody. Somebody I love is being hurt. I had to get there and I had to save them at the end of the day, and it was me and my friends, I had to go save, like my homie Donchi when he was getting beat up with shovel. So it was a moment where I had to protect somebody. And so, what would you do for your loved one? What would you do for your love at the end of the day? So I'm thinking, so I put myself in the zone, just like with homie Donchi. Like I didn't want that to happen to him, so I ran over there and I fought did what I did. So with this was the same thing. Fight or flight, get there, and help.
So, David and Craig, who are like the directors and producers of the movie, did they kind of give you liberties with that character, or did they kind of say, "This is the way we want you to play that part"?
So basically, yes. It's they gave me he said something about man and mouse, but at the same time I had to give it my own feel. And he was cool with that at the end of the day because it come off more natural at the end of the day. So
Yeah. You just
and it worked.
it did. It worked. I kind of it was almost like watching a Rob Zombie type movie if you're familiar with his movies, and it's like, oh, okay, yeah, this guy's he's got that kindness about him, but it's almost like you better watch out because he could snap at any time.
I'll kind of hoping it like it'd be like I think this still Rob Zombie movie, the what was it, All American Rejects?
The Devil's Rejects.
Yeah, yeah. I kind of felt like when we filmed like that, it was gonna be like that, but it turned into something more soft than that and more different at the end of the day.
Well,
but I still got to do it.
and y'all had to do a lot of that without that extra gore and stuff that you get in a lot of other horror movies, which, I thought, well, how's that going to work? But somehow y'all made it work.
Yeah, the way he did that, he made it work. I still wish there was certain scenes in there. Like I seen where they cut the camera too quick with the shovel part, but it gets to the part where I can get this close to his head with the shovel when I kidnapped what's the actor, I forgot her name. When they're in the forest and I'm creeping down the hill with the shovel, I get that close from the head with the shovel, and I stop. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, is he okay?" Like, yeah, he's like, "Yeah, nothing touched me."
How funny.
But yeah, it was wonderful shooting that. It was very wonderful shooting that. I really want if it's a part 2, I really want to do it again.
Well, it could happen.
I'm hoping. I'm definitely hoping.
So have you gotten some attention from being in that movie?
More attention. I got people hitting me up that I haven't talked to in years. I'm like, I haven't heard from you in years. And then I got my people I used to beef with. They asking me for advice, like, how you get in this movie? How you do this? Like we thought you was locked up somewhere. Like, nah, man. I did this, meeting the right people. God placing the right people in my life and stuff like that. And hopefully one day I'll be able to help people, lead them down the right path. But it's like I've gotten a lot of attention. A lot of people in my hometown are playing the movie. They're telling a friend at the end of the day. And so it's like it get back to me at the end of the day. It get right back to me. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, you noticed that you had more friends than you had when you were in high school. Oh, you remember me, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Or you had relatives come out the woodwork you didn't know you had.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that brings out people at the end of the day, so it's just like, I have no issue with it unless it's money gain that they trying to seek it. I'm like, I'm broke. I don't got nothing. I'm broke. I don't got nothing.
Well, as long as you keep
And
your
I
head on
feel,
straight.
oh, definitely, definitely. I'm always trying God to humble me and stuff like that. I don't want to become a prima donna that people say.
Yeah.
Where I don't. It's. I refuse to let that happen. I'm gonna keep humbling myself. Everything I win, I give it to God at the end of the day.
Amen. Well, you see that happen. Somebody has come up from nothing, and then all of a sudden they're in movies and television. They're getting noticed, and they're stars, and they totally forget where they came from, and then all of a sudden they don't. They're almost like they're untouchable. Oh, don't get near me. And it's refreshing when you still get to meet those folks that they've gotten some fame, and they're still in touch with reality, I guess you'd say, and they still want to be that same person at the end of the day. I'm not that person on the screen. I'm a regular Joe. Let's go have a beer.
Yeah, and I definitely am not trying to allow that to happen to me where I become one of them people that I can understand why certain celebrities do it, but I'm not just going to do it because I have an issue or, because I just feel like I'm that person or I'm that guy and stuff like that. I understand if I'm being attacked by my fans, if somebody trying to fight me or things like that, then yeah, get away from God. It's a saying where it maybe some good snake within that a thousand of snake, but I'm not finna let all the snake through the door. All the, I'm not finna just let all these snakes through because the bad snakes can get in, trying to let in the good snakes and stuff like that. But
Oh, yeah.
I remain humble at the end of the day, and not. And I mean, I'm always antisocial anyway, but I don't want to be like an ass, so I just refuse to be like that. So
Yeah, just when you're up there with Brad Pitt, don't forget me, okay?
definitely not. Definitely not. All all these interviews and stuff that I've been doing for the last 4 days, I'm gonna basically come back and show the same love because y'all the first ones to even give me a chance to do it. So it's the thing. Don't bite the hand that fed you.
Yeah.
Always show love back. So I'm not gonna bite the hand that fed me and gave me an opportunity. Nobody else gave me an opportunity.
Well, it's nice that you can still, be that person at the end of the day. Now, so anyway, my question was, you seem like you're a man of faith, man of God. Was that something that's always been in your life, or did you have to kind of have a coming to God?
Both. At the end of the day, I had to have both. At the end of the day, I mean, God had always been in my life, but I always had this doubt in the back of my head, and I had to have my own walk with God a lot of times. At the end of the day, because you go through things in life, and you wonder why you go through things in life, and you tend to blame God at the end of the day.
Yep.
When I had to come to a realization, like God really don't have anything to do with people action. He knows what's going to happen, but he give people free will and choices
That's
to
right.
make, and they act upon it. So if Lulu, and I tell people, so if Lil Durag choose to get up and go shoot Dion down the street, that's the choice he made. God didn't make that choice. He already knew that it was going to happen, but he gave that man a choice to walk away from it. And so if it leads up to my death, I tell people that my choices led me to my death because I've probably given many chances to walk away, to change. My choices led to my death. So it's like you said, it's a lot of things like I had to stop blaming God for
Yeah.
at the end of the day because my choices led to a lot of things that was my own downfall at the end of the day. And it's so it took a lot. And then, my wife showed me she's a Jehovah Witness at the time, and they believe a lot of things that I already believed at the end of the day. And so I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna study this because I feel more comfortable with this and what I believed, and I've been being blessed ever since. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure they don't agree with some of my decisions, but I'm not a brother. At the end of the day, but I do believe in a lot of things that they believe.
Well, and I know you see it out there. It's not a popular thing nowadays to believe in God. Like it was more popular when I was younger, quote unquote. But to me, even if there wasn't a God, God is necessary.
Yes.
I mean, I happen to believe there is, and everybody's allowed to think how they want, but at the end of the day, I believe that there is, and I know God has put a path ahead of me, but he says, I'm going to give you the choice of either taking that path the easy way or taking that path the hard way, but I'm going to get there one way or another.
Yeah. And you're right. Everybody got a choice. Everybody got a right to believe, and yeah, it is a popular thing in this culture now, and I feel like that is because people put the blame on God when God isn't to blame at all.
That's right.
People don't want to accept responsibility,
That's
and
the
I'm not
problem.
trying to get all biblical. I'm not trying to get all biblical and all that, but it even stems from the Adam and Eve. What did Adam and Eve do? When Adam was already taught not to eat from the fruit the tree of knowledge,
Exactly.
he allowed his wife Eve to manipulate him into eating the fruit. She allowed herself to be manipulated by the snake. But what did they all do when they was confronted by God? They blamed Adam, blamed Eve. Eve blamed the snake. Blamed the snake. Nobody want to take responsibility for their action. They wasn't forced. They was not forced to do nothing.
That's right.
They chose to do it. At the end of the day, uh, God didn't intervene. He didn't. He just placed the tree there, and so I'm like, you can eat from anything, but anything in this garden, just don't eat from this tree. And they ate from that tree. Then they knew better, and they had a choice. They
That's
they,
right.
they had the choice. So
Yeah.
and we live in this imperfect world where we are riddled with these sickness and diseases and war and stuff like and war thing like I said, and I just feel like the blame fall too much on God's shoulder, and so people taking responsibility. Like, and even with part of my black culture is that everybody want to be a gangster, but then when shots get to flying because they're celebrating, everybody want to throw up gang signs, but then when shots get to flying and somebody die, oh, the killing need to stop or this need to stop, but you promoted it from
Exactly.
from I'm like, you promoted it, and even I gotta say where I'm wrong, where I used to promote it and stuff like that. But if people don't have nothing to do with it or promoting it, want to be a part of it or blood this or crip this and all this, and it's like, are they date against? Oh, I want to date a thug, but then when somebody get hit and die, oh, the violence need to stop. This need to stop. And then I'm like, but you but you were part of the problem. You
Yep.
encouraged this. More people that say, yeah, go do it than the person that say, no, don't do it. So,
Well, you know how
you
it
know,
is when you want to do the right thing, then everybody wants to call you a sellout. That's,
that's true too.
nobody wants to
That is,
be in that position.
that's true. Everybody gonna call you. That's why I speak to the kids out there and try to tell them, like, you don't want to live this life. It's fun right now. And nobody else gonna tell you this, but I'm gonna tell you. In a few years, or even a few months from now, you can look to your left or look to your right. One of y'all not gonna be standing next to each other no more. One of y'all, and the other one gonna be grieving, or y'all both gonna be gone, and your parents gonna be grieving. It's fun right now, but you're gonna cry later,
That's
or
right.
somebody gonna be crying.
The weird story about me actually getting into church is I was working as an exterminator, and I went to this house, and the guy that lived there was he was a biker dude, the tattoos, the long hair, Harley Davidson, and he used to be in a biker gang. And so I'm checking out the bike and, checking out his tattoos and all that stuff. And then he starts telling me about God and about Jesus, about coming to church. And I thought, man, if this guy can go, why can't I go? And that's what got me interested. So, God takes people like that and he uses them to open up the eyes of other
Yes.
people. So I'm glad that you're out talking to the kids, and hopefully you'll get them on the right path. They're like, look at this guy. He could be a gangster if he wanted to, but he's turned his life around and he wants to do something positive. So, cheers,
Yeah.
my friend. Cheers.
I mean, let me just quote this Tupac line. This, it's a brighter day. You know, it's what he said. He said, if you could make it through the night and hold on, it's a brighter day. Understand that. Things are hard right now, but just hold on, keep persevering, keep striving, and just stay consistent, regardless of what situation that you're in right now, and just keep pushing forward, because there is a brighter day, even though everything may seem dim.
Man, you are a living testimony, my friend. I appreciate you. Appreciate your time, and I want to thank you. I want to thank everybody that is either listening in or they're watching us on either YouTube or Rumble, and I appreciate your support. And if you haven't seen it, you have Amazon Prime. It's called The Crumbs, and I recommend that you check it out.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Listen to the Vibes. You can catch us on Buzzsprout or wherever you listen to your favourite podcasts, and on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook at The Vibes Broadcast Network and on Instagram at The Vibes Broadcast.